Greetings and salutations. I hope you're all having yourselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the Ghost of the 13-month series doesn't get you and you can stay notified. Just in case you don't know, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays are not my upload days. So when you get videos on those days, that's extra content. My upload days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, and I stream 3 times a week on Twitch. Look in my description for all of that information: Discord, Twitter, Twitch, where you can find me. And please stop asking me questions that are in the description. Okay. I got asked an interesting question that I didn't really think about in this way. I know I've talked about Tower God combat and I've talked about things like power scaling, but I don't think I've ever properly voiced my opinion on whether or not Tower God has good fights. Is Slave in Utero good at crafting fights from top to bottom? Let's talk about it.
It don't matter though. Young nigga from Canada, brought from that bullshit and go like a matador.
I'm a little pressed for time, so it's gonna be me on camera today. Hope you don't mind, but I am repping. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the proper attire and whatnot. But okay, here's where I want to begin. SIU has created a plethora of great action sequences, panels, moments, and he has good fights in the series. I think Ran versus Anak is incredible. I think Indianetta versus Ran, incredible. Kaiser the Name Hunter versus Juvio Grace, great fight. I believe that Dada Jihad versus Bam is also a really good fight. But if you're asking me, is SIU actually great at combat? That's not his forte. I would say no. I say he hits the mark sometimes, but there's so many variables that make a fight scene good. And it also is very dependent on the type of media you're consuming, because in something, generally speaking, I know we hear music and webtoons a lot now, but generally speaking, if you're reading a graphic novel, there's no music. So that's a part that's left out. But if it's animated or a movie and there's an action sequence, sometimes the music will enhance the moment and make the fight seem a lot more impactful or a lot more serious or suspenseful than it actually is. So I want to give SIU credit for where I think he gets this stuff really, really right. And one of them is scaling. He is really good at showing you the destructive capabilities and scale of an attack with the way he will zoom out and show you. Think about Urek's 10% punch and F.U.G, whatever, UJ, being above and being still seeing the aftermath and destruction of that. Or even when he used a finger and it made the ground crater. Think about Yuri and Karaka at the end of the Name Hunt station when the regulars were trying to cross the bridge. And Karaka and Yuri were fighting under, and they were pretty small and down there. You saw how destructive the battles were. And I'm reminded of one moment, I believe Calivan pushes back Hajin Sung. Could be the other way around, but I think it was Hajin Sung getting pushed away. And you saw how far he slid in the air. So there's certain things he's really good at. And again, I want to say that like with the Calivan versus White fight, he has these panels and moments of White cutting through the essence of bravery, energy, and things like that I think are really phenomenal. It looks really good. But if you were to really legitimately ask me Tower God fights, great, good, this is what you come here for? Absolutely not. Tower God is not a series that I read for the combat. And I'll be very honest, I'll stick with Naver and Line Webtoons. If there's one thing about a lot of the action fantasy series that I would say are really good, it's the combat, and I don't think SIU holds a candle to a God of High School, to Gosu, to Noblesse, to some of those other series where most conflicts are solved by fighting. I actually would put SIU on the lower end of that. I think those guys craft general action sequences that are a lot better. Now, whether or not you care about them and your level of emotional investment is not anything that I'm really going to talk about today, because I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about more of literal execution of choreography, like Akira Toriyama. He's very good at that. Whether or not you think he's a hack or not good, or you like Dragon Ball, one thing we all know, especially if you actually understand paneling and graphic novels and how to make stuff, he's very good at crafting action sequences. And you guys know I like One Piece. I think Oda, he can make a good fight, but that's not his strong suit. So These things happen. But I'm actually curious to know what you guys are thinking about this more so than me, to be honest, because I think a lot of my thoughts on this stuff is very well documented. I think the power scaling is completely inconsistent and completely wonky. I got a lot of fights that I do like, a lot of moments that I do like, a lot of action sequences that I'm fond of, but am I like, yo, Tower of God fights, I get up for this? Honestly, no. Gosu, yeah. Gosu was something where two people could be fighting and I have no emotional investment, but I'm still mesmerized by the action sequences. You feel what I'm saying? Hope that made sense to you guys. But be as detailed as you can be, or as you want to be, and let me know what you think about the combat in Tower of God. Do you think SIU is good at crafting great scenes, action sequences, and good fights? Yes or no? Or are you somewhere in the middle? And I want to know why. Comment in the comment section below, and you guys be safe. I'm going to be out. But again, he's got some good ones. Again, I really think the way that Bam was bobbing and weaving on the blue ore through Kaiser's needle inventory was phenomenal. It was great. And I think Dada Jihad versus Bam had a lot of the emotional weight and investment and intrigue, like the kind of like intrinsic, intangible things that you don't necessarily have to see on screen that enhanced that fight, though I still like the choreography of that fight. But again, not his forte. I want to give a tremendous shout out to everybody who's been supporting me on Patreon. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. Shout out to the certified band lovers. Shout out to the priests of fire, but especially my fifth Zen gods, my tier 3 patrons. Shout out to Sonny Katapali, Simi, Shoddy to Your Body, Scobe, Revenant, Miles, Chris, Cayenne, Irene Sharda, Tris, David Langstaff, Childish Nujabes, Bloody Winters, Alan Petrie, and my boy Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you.